Hello and welcome to this video and to my channel. Happy you're here. Today we're going to be DIY carpet cleaning. Take a look at your carpet. Yeah, go ahead to your bedroom, living room right now. And it looks relatively clean, right? But what in the world is inside, deep down in those fibers? Check this out. We rented one of these Bissell vacuum cleaners, and I'm going to show you all about it today. But look at this disgusting stuff that it picks up. Hair, lint, whatever else might be living deep inside those fibers. And because this is kind of a wet, dry it's basically a professional vacuum cleaner. It actually puts liquid down into the carpet and then sucks it back up. And look at that disgusting water. For context, we're going to be spot treating some specific stains that our dog left and just doing kind of a general clean as well. So we're going to show you exactly from A to Z how to rent it, give you a tour of the actual vacuum cleaner so you know how it works step by step, and hopefully we'll have some success. Feeling pretty good once our carpet is indeed all clean. So we're going to be again showing you around. We've got this attachment piece that we rented. Show you how that works. We'll be cleaning stairs. And again, long pile, short pile carpet across the entire house. Grab yourself a Gatorade. This is not for the weak, although it's not hard at all. All right, so let's get started. For context, our dog, this whole conversation of should we rent one or not, our dog had a massive spell of diarrhea. Sorry, I'm not sorry there. But we cleaned it up using baking soda and vinegar, and it left this these series of white stains that we just simply could not remove using more vinegar, more scrubbing, more water. We just couldn't get it done. It's okay, buddy. We forgive you. That's the pooch here. So we rented, again, one of these things. The big question was, should we hire somebody or should we, just keep trying to scrub it over time? But we decided to rent one of these, and I had never done this before. This was the first time renting one of these. By the way, welcome to the channel. If you're new, click like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who you think might benefit from renting a vacuum cleaner. Back to business here. This is the long pile carpet in our living room. And again, we were faced with that question, should we rent, should we hire, whatnot. So I went to the local store, the hardware store here. This was our Ace Hardware, and it was really easy to do. You just say, hey, can I rent this? It was about $30 for the actual vacuum cleaner for 24 hours, and you have to buy a $15 bottle of fluid, carpet cleaner fluid, and they will figure that out for you and run that total and whatnot. And that might vary depending on where you live and whatnot. But it was relatively inexpensive. And when we got that home and we started to mark up with some tape, just so you can see exactly where the stains were. Because once you get the carpet wet, the stains are less visible, right? So we wanted to have just kind of a general marking. And those markings were wide enough where the vacuum cleaner could go into and the attachment piece could fit. We could spot treat it as well. And again, those are just for visual markings. Now, this is the extra. It was like a $5 rental, the spot treating hose, which I highly recommend if you're doing any spot treating of stains. And this is the top compartment here. They're basically two big reservoirs. The fresh water is right there down below on the bottom. And we've got a couple of hookups here. Now, everything is pretty dumb-proof, I would say, overall. Before we get into more detail, let's just show you underneath here. We've got 5 massive brushes with rollers, and this will by far be more superior than your household vacuum. No question about that. The handle also folds down for transportation, and we'll show you around that in just a minute. Now, before we continue, what we did to spot treat this was heat up some water, just plain water, 200 degrees, and we used a strainer with a cloth inside to help distribute the water evenly. And we actually let this very hot water, we just drenched it, saturated it into the carpet to get these stains out. So we're basically pre-treating the stains, right, before we even boot up the vacuum cleaner that we just rented. Very hot water, let it sit for 30 minutes or so, and then we carried about with the vacuum cleaner. So 2 reservoirs. You're going to fill the bottom reservoir with hot water, warm tap water, nothing else. You'll have to read the instructions, of course, depending on your model. And but again, it's pretty straightforward. You just put hot water in here. We're not putting any chemicals in here, any of that cleaner, the bottle of cleaner that we bought with the rental. That will come at a later stage. You could even put the extremely hot water in as well. I don't like to bring it to a full boil if you do that, because I don't want to have to deal with any melting or possibly damaging the unit at all, right? So just kind of 190 degree water or so, or just hot tap water did the trick for us. And this is idiot proof. I mean, it's really simple. Everything is very intuitive, locks into place very clearly. Now, before you put that freshwater reservoir back, you could put cleaner in there, like I said. We're going to put the top unit, the top reservoir here, is for dirty water. You put it in and you close the handle and it seals it up. Now, this piece is for the attachment for the actual hose. So we're going to take the hose piece. And this is optional. If you didn't rent this, then you don't need to do this part. But the big hose fits right here, and the small hose fits right there. Again, pretty idiot-proof, I think. Meaning, I'm an idiot. I was very intimidated by renting one of these. What is this about? How does it work? Are you going to walk me through this step by step? But the instructions are, again, really simple. We're going to plug it in. There's a trigger and a power button. And the spot treating hose attachment has a trigger, which will release the water that we just filled from the in the water reservoir. Now, we're just using water again, no chemicals at this point. It had been pre-treated with very, very hot water for 30 minutes. And I am working and scrubbing. And the handle does have a pretty heavy-duty brush kind of built into it. So I'm making sure that's parallel with the ground, and I am continuing like this, spot treating all of the areas that we have marked inside the yellow using yellow tape, as you can see here. And again, this is going to apply more water to it, but it also has a vacuum that will suck up the existing water and the water that it's putting down. So you will see very quickly that the reservoir tank starts to fill up with dirty water. Can you see that? And it does, when it gets to the full line, you'll need to empty it, which we'll do here soon. So again, this is just hot water. You're welcome to probably use chemicals, although you'll want to do a test sample before you go nuts on that. But we just wanted to see how far just hot water would get us. And let's go ahead and empty this now. You just put the handle down and pop off the top. And let's pour this in. Or pour this down the drain. And you can see we're already lifting up some pretty nasty stuff. And then we'll replace the lid like that, lock it into place, and then we'll need to refill the freshwater reservoir. We'll put everything back on, and we can continue to spot treat like that. We'll move the unit to the next stain. Or once that's done, we can go ahead and remove some of the tape as needed. If we're done with the hose, then we're kind of done with the hose, and we can proceed with using the vacuum cleaner in its upright kind of normal potential without the hose. Now the handle does kind of click down so that you can actually push the unit, and it does lock in a 90 degree upwards. So you'll depress the little clip there, and then you can bend the handle down, and that allows you to push and pull. It's not a very heavy unit, although doing this many times, like I said earlier in the video, you'll need a Gatorade, right? Give yourself some, stay hydrated. You'll find that I'm kind of out of shape, and it's winter when I'm making this, so it's not like I've been working out or anything like that. So I definitely winded me a little bit over. I mean, this part was fine, but doing the whole living room and the upstairs and the downstairs and the steps was a little physical. So keep that in mind as you do this. Now, what we're doing next is still using water, no chemicals, going over the area that we just spot treated. And you'll notice we still have that yellow tape, those markings down. Those are just visual indicators to identify, again, where that stain is. Now, once we feel pretty good about using the nozzle and the vacuum itself on the actual stains, we're going to go ahead and do the rest of the carpets. Now, you're going to want to vacuum as much as possible before you go over this and carpet clean with this vacuum, right? And for this stage, we're going to go ahead and apply some of that that cleaner, that solution that we purchased earlier when we rented it. And I'll put links down below for everything. The bottle can run from $13 to $20 depending on the type of cleaner that you get. There's like more advanced form. There's like triple cleaning, there's like pet odor cleaning formula, like lots of options. We just went with kind of the generic one. I think it had oxy in it, and we tested it before we applied it because we didn't wanted to make sure it didn't have like, you know, an adverse reaction to the carpet and discolor or anything. So we'll go ahead and get that tape removed. We'll put the liquid into the fresh water reservoir, and the exact measurements are on the bottle. So follow those instructions. You don't want to put too much in or not enough in. And then we're going to go ahead and remove furniture from the area and actually go through like this. Now notice the technique and the pattern. By the way, it is wet, so don't be an idiot like me and please wear slippers or shoes when you do this. Otherwise your socks are going to get wet and you're going to have that stuff on the bottom of your feet. So it took me a few passes to kind of realize, oh yeah, this isn't working very well. But anyway, notice the technique. It says you should push and then pull over the same spot and then overlap a little bit. So it's a pretty narrow vacuum cleaner. It's not wide at all, so you're going to have several passes, but it does go relatively quickly. You'll kind of find your groove, and you can slow down and certainly extend the time a little bit. Slow down. The slower you go, the more it's able to put water in that place and lift it up at the same time, and the brushes can do their work, if that makes sense. So have your block off several hours when you do this. You know, have a great time. We did this it was like a wild Friday night. We joked that we had some friends over the next night. What'd you do last night? Oh, it was a pretty wet and wild time, you know. Epic, but you know, that's it needed to be done. We hadn't ever done this before. We lived in the house for 6-7 years, and oh my goodness, have we lived in this house. So notice I'm doing kind of cross patterns. I did left and right and then up and down over the same spot, and the idea is that you do this until your dirty water is indeed clear when you empty it out. So let's go ahead and bring this back over and empty it and see what the water color is like. Yeah, we're still obviously not clear yet. So that would be an indicator that you need to do some more passes over it and again lift up some of that stuff. Now I did like to rinse this out each time and put it back kind of clean, if you will. So it has a better chance of representative sample of how clean the carpet is. Now you might get these as well kind of falling out from under the brush, or it might be in the brush. So definitely tip it upside down when you clean the water and look for the physical stuff that needs to be kind of wiped out. You don't want that clogging or jamming. This is a look at the water kind of being sucked back up from the carpet. So again, fresh water is being put down and then it is sucking up and putting that dirty water into the dirty water reservoir. That's kind of a look there at what that is like. Notice we moved all the furniture and whatnot. So, I mean, this is not rocket science at all, right? This is pretty straightforward. So I was really happy with the process and the results and all that good stuff. Now, we did move furniture on our main level. We figured, hey, we've got this thing for 24 hours. We've done all the kind of the traffic area. Let's go ahead and move the furniture around. Now, for all furniture that has legs, and by the way, get yourself, instead of, throwing out a back muscle, get yourself some of these plastic furniture slider things. Definitely worth it. You just kind of put one under each leg, and then you can push, pull with ease. Have yourself a set of 16 of these around the house. They're super cheap, and Definitely worth it if you're moving furniture around as opposed to lifting. Oh my God, you guys, what is all this stuff back here? Our kids use this as their personal dumping ground behind the sofa. Anyway, okay, we'll get that picked up, we'll get it vacuumed, and we'll get that clean. Now, notice any furniture on legs, and this, yeah, grab yourself a Gatorade like I've been saying. Anything with legs, you can kind of put on top of the area that you just cleaned if you don't have the ability to move all your furniture out of the room into the next room, right? So that includes like sofas and chairs and desks because there's not a lot of surface area. You're not going to be like blocking much of the carpet and preventing it from being able to dry. So we'll let that dry, get the furniture kind of moved back, and this is what it looks like when it is kind of all said and done on this level. Now this might be a good time if you have any rugs to get those out. You might need another person to hold the corners down while you go over this so it doesn't get pulled up, but we definitely took advantage and cleaned our area rugs around the house. And let's move on to stairs really quickly. The same concept applies with stairs. There's my little supervisor up there. Hey, buddy. And as we saw earlier, we had the hose attachment nozzle, so you're going to want to get that hooked back up and get hot water put into the reservoir. And we are vacuuming before we do this, right? We're going to lift up most of that debris, that hard sediment, before we start to professionally carpet clean. And this is what it looks time-lapsed. We've got several stairs here, and it's a bit awkward, but the hose is super long, so I didn't have any issues. Just move the unit to the top of the stairs or the bottom of the stairs to do each half. And then we're going to dump it out. Now, don't dump it out in the kids' into the bathtub, okay? You're gonna have lots of sediment that's gonna clog your bathtub. I made that mistake, and that was a fun job to undo using a little plastic snake tool. But anyway, we did the upstairs, and we did not move all of the furniture. We just did traffic areas up here. You can see the weight bench. I probably could have moved that, but we didn't move the bed or the dressers or anything like that. So that would obviously be up to you, depending on how much effort you put in this. You can rent these for 48 hours as opposed to 24 if you wanted to break this up a little bit, do a little more thorough job. But we just did traffic areas in the bedrooms and whatnot. Okay, let's get a look underneath here. As we're cleaning, you're going to have hair that's wrapped up into the brushes. You want to cut that out. And again, along the sides, there's buildup, significant buildup over time of carpet, hair, and Lord knows what else. And so this is proof that it's just really worth it to have to do this every once in a while. This is the short pile carpet in our basement that we have. And so we're going to go ahead and take advantage and clean that area as well. No issues with long pile, short pile. It just works fabulously. Definitely does a great job of lifting up all that nasty stuff that you're not really able to see and that your regular vacuum cleaner certainly is not doing. There's another shot for you of the unit in action. Okay, this is the end result. Things looking pretty good, pretty clear. Water is clear. We'll reward the little buddy here. We're pretty happy. We were able to get those stains out that he left using this rental. So definitely glad I didn't hire somebody professionally to spend, a couple $100 versus $30 plus the solution if you even need that. You might just want to consider just water if you want to save $15 to $20. But like I said, we used water first and then the solution afterwards. Now, as far as getting this thing turned, cleaned up and turned back in to the hardware store, you're going to read the contract. There's terms and conditions. You won't get your deposit back if you, which was only like $25, by the way, if you return it dirty. So that involves cleaning out the dirty water reservoir, the clean water reservoir, emptying all of that, and going through on the underside here, cutting out, removing all the hair. They don't want to have to do this themselves, so you cut out all that hair. I've got a little tool here, and I'll put links down below for this as well. This came with our little Robo Vac that we had. It's this little cool plastic tool with a blade on it, and you just kind of run it through. It cuts out all the hair from the brush. like that. So get all that stuff visually. It needs to look relatively clean. And then don't forget to wipe out all that stuff. Use a little flathead screwdriver to get in there if you need to remove anything, but it was pretty simple. And then we'll go ahead and replace the reservoirs like that. The freshwater reservoir, the dirty water reservoir. Lock it into place. Push that all the way. Get that settled there. There we go. Push that up, and that will lock it down. Don't forget to turn on the fans to have your carpets dry, right? It takes a good, 24 hours. The next day, things were pretty dry around the house. Wrap up the cord on the unit, and you can push that handle down. You might want to wheel it out to your car first, but it goes back to the store just like that. And don't forget your hose that you rented, your attachment as well in the bag. And it's pretty simple. Things are looking really clean, and hopefully this has helped you out. Click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.